Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome back to another episode of Chat with Chaps. This is quite a special interview. It's only going to be brief, but he's promised off air to come on properly. Definitely throw him under the bus. I am sitting down with modern day Millwall legend Paul Robinson. Paul, how you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, really good. Great to be a part of today, and we'll talk more about what the overall day is in a minute.
Yeah.
But just tell us what you're up to at the club at the minute.
Yeah, so I'm working with Kevin Nugent. He's the manager of the 21, so I coach alongside him. And yeah, great to be back involved with the club. Great to help sort of the future players coming through, trying to embed a little bit of Millwallness in them, make them ready for that first team. And yeah, just brilliant being out on the grass every day. I always wanted to be involved in football after playing. So to have that opportunity back here at Millwall's amazing for me.
And I think, as Millwall fans, we might want to evolve on the pitch. We might want to get onto bigger and better things, but we always want that Millwallness, as you coined it, instilled in our players. What does that mean to you? Like, what kind of attributes and characteristics are you trying to put into these young lads to make sure that when they do go on the pitch for the first team, that they're ready for it?
I think what you got to understand is the identity of the football club, isn't it? That's what the fans want to cheer on the pitch. That's the type of team that the fans want to see on the pitch. And for those players, I think that, I was speaking about it previously with this club. It's a brilliant club to play for, especially when you're going well. It will test you at times, but not only that, when it tests you, if you come through that test, the fans will have you back forever. I just want to see players that are committed for the football club, give you everything they've got from the shirt, first and foremost for me. If you can go onto the pitch every game and know and guarantee that, I think that goes a hell of a long way. And then after that, listen, it's about those moments of quality, and it's just embracing everything that the club stands for, really. And then, like I say, when this place gets going and those fans get behind you, there's no better place to play for me, and there's no better crowd to have behind you. And it's just something where you can impart that experience. And there are tough times, but then also, like I say, there's just some amazing times too. And yeah, and it's unique, but it's a special place to play as well.
You talked there about, it's a special place to play and getting the fans. Is there one game, like one, some of the cup games, maybe some of the playoff games? Is there one that you're like, yeah, that was a goosebump game, that one? Yeah,
definitely the Huddersfield one for me in the semi-final of the playoffs. That atmosphere on that night game and everything around it. I mean, if you looked at it, they were quite littered with players that had great careers in the end, and what they went on to do. Even had sort of Drinkwater who won the Premier League with Leicester. So, players like that playing for them, and the noise, the atmosphere, the feeling inside the stadium. And it was a season where we'd beaten everyone at home, sort of the likes of Norwich, Leeds, Southampton. It was a tough division that season.
Yeah.
And they came down as well. And it just felt, even driving to the game, it just felt that I just knew we were going to win that night. And I knew, and the way that the crowd was, the noise, and then scoring that goal right at the end just kind of capped it all off for me, really. And in terms of a night and a feeling, that was really special.
And obviously, you also scored the winning goal in the actual final itself. I mean, describe that moment. I mean, I just can't goosebumps literally thinking about
it. Yeah, exactly that. I mean, I think I've always said, growing up, that dream of scoring the winner at Wembley, picking up the trophy. I kind of lived that dream on that day, and to do it here for Millwall, where I'd come through as a youngster, helped me achieve my dreams. I don't think you can written it any better, really. Still go back to that moment at times, and still look at that moment as well, seeing all the Millwall fans erupt. And I think as well that for us at that time as a group, as a squad, to be the first team to win in the playoffs and to kind of get rid of that monkey off our back, really, where everyone was like, we hadn't really won in any playoffs or anything like that. So to do that as a group and to get promotion was just the perfect day.
Yeah, and I think we stuffed Bristol City 3-0 on the first game. I remember one of my best away games, seeing David James pick the ball out of his net 3 times. You obviously represented our club more than 300 times, which is just a phenomenal achievement. Another player that I believe has now surpassed 300, or he's certainly going to if he hasn't, is obviously our current captain in Jake Cooper. Talk to me a little bit about, any similarities between yourselves in terms of leadership style. Because from when I look at both of you, and keep me honest here, I wouldn't say you were the most vocal on the pitch, but you just led by example. And everyone that I've spoken to about you, I had the pleasure of speaking to Tony Craig recently, said the same. So just trying to understand, the kind of characteristics and qualities that you had and that you see Coops have.
Yeah, exactly. I think, you look at Coops, he's just been an absolute model of consistency, hasn't he? The amount of games that he's played. I think he's actually probably gone past me in appearances now. I was looking at him coming up from trying to take my place, but I think he's gone past me now and a few others. And like you say, with Coops, he's quite unassuming really in his day to day. But what he does is he turns up day to day, does his work, works really hard, plays, and not only that, he gets the football club, understands the football club, but just been a pure model of consistency, led the lads well. And I think you've seen as well, you can often see with the players had different managers come in as well, but they've all continued to pick him, and that says a lot for him and the way he is amongst the group and the sort of different natures of the groups as well that have kind of evolved. Obviously, different groups under Neil, Gary, and obviously now under Alex, and he's adapted to that, adapted to different styles of playing. And I think what we do see with him is his stature at the club now. And I think that, like you say, probably similar to me, he wouldn't be always the most standout player every week, but you knew what you were going to get from us every week, and the fans knew what to expect from you. And I think that goes a long way, really, and that's why he continues to find himself in the team.
Yeah, and I for one hope that he stays here for a lot of time, long time still to come. Obviously, he's part of, I guess, an experienced player that's part of the current setup. Obviously, there has been a motion to try and reduce the age of the squad and bring these younger players through, which is obviously brilliant for you working with the under 21s, because more of them now have a pathway to the first team. Has that changed your role anymore? Has it made you think about things differently? For example, do you think about the type of style that the manager plays in the first team? You try and replicate that in the under 21s. I'm just trying to understand, now there is more of a path, what that has meant for you and what you do.
Yeah, I think there's a real balance with that. I think for our job's not changed in a lot of ways. Firstly, we wanted to create players that were ready for the first team, ready to step into that first team environment, to try to challenge them and make sure that they've experienced every situation, so that when they go into the first team, they're not experiencing it for the first time. I think what we try to do is make them all-round players, particularly with the 21s. So there's probably a little bit. I think what you find is that, as we've seen probably as well, that the managers can change. So as much as you might want to sort of get them ready for one certain playing style, if the manager changes, then you might have players that are not suitable for the next player. So what we try and make sure is that they're kind of adaptable and try and work on their whole round, their all-round game, and make them sort of well-rounded players, so that ready to go into adapt to whatever manager comes in and whatever style he has as well. Yeah. However, it would be remiss of us not, to certainly add elements of, say currently what Alex wants from his players, or to see from certain players in certain positions. So I've got a real awareness of that, and we work very closely. We're in and around the first team, so we have got that awareness, and we do try to make sure that certain players in certain positions show certain attributes and understand certain things, so that if at any moment the manager, as you've seen, that pathway now is probably strongest than it's ever been since I've been back here. And I think what it does do is give that players that belief that if they do well, they've got that opportunity in the first team now, which I'll be honest, hasn't perhaps always been the case in recent years. I don't know if that's always been the case, but there is that real pathway now, and the young players do see that. So it's for us to make sure that when they're called upon, they're ready. But not only that, when Alex is watching our games, say, he can look at players and think they're ready to come into my team and play how I would like them to play too. So there's a real balance in that. Yeah,
no, that's really good to hear. And now sort of going back into your playing days, who was your best centre-back partner that you played with, or someone that you felt most comfortable with?
I think probably for me, it was probably Wardy, really. I think when I broke into the team, I played alongside. Oh, he's done, wasn't he? Again, and talk about consistency. He was a model of consistency, wasn't he? Really good player, loyal to the club as well for a fair period. And yeah, Wardy, when I first broke through, I think, especially as a young player, it was just having him alongside me, his experience, his guidance. And do you know what as well? His calmness, really. I think that probably come across to the fans as well, and his calmness on the pitch. But yeah, he was really good, for me to play alongside. And then sort of probably move, like obviously you had the likes of Danny Shittu, who was an experienced playing alongside him when he come into the team, wasn't he? And like I say, played with many great players really, and I like playing with Tony Craig as well. I think we both bought into Millwall. We understood the club, and that kind of bond between us always helped us play together on the pitch, because whatever happened, we always knew that we'd be doing the right things. We'd be working hard for each other. So I've had been fortunate really to have many good partners.
And you were, some career that you had for us, but as part of it, you were the captain when we had the prostate cancer shirt sponsor, if you were. It must have been a proud moment to be the captain wearing that shirt, right?
Yeah, I remember it fondly, really, and really clearly the time as well. I think at the time the club had been offered, say, fairly lucrative amounts to partner with perhaps companies that they didn't want to align with at the time, really, and I think the club took a really momentous decision to put prostate cancer on, and rather than take that quick bit of money, they thought, actually, do you know what, we're going to do something better than that. We're going to spread a better message. And
Amazing.
I think sometimes with this club, we talk about it. It takes a lot of knocks, doesn't it? And can not always get the good, doesn't always get good press. Sometimes deserves, sometimes not. And what it did then was just show the commitment to spread awareness in the community, spread awareness among men. I mean, it affects 1 in 8 men for prostate cancer, and football's such a great vehicle to get that message out there. Us blokes ain't great, are we? Particularly,
no.
And we're probably more men's men, I would say, here at the Den more than anywhere. I would assume, but I don't know. Other clubs might take issue with that. And I think we're not always great at talking about it. So for the club to spread that message, not only to the Millwall fans here, but around the country as well, and it was brilliant from John Berylson, who was obviously chairman at the time, and Andy Ambler as well, to take that decision and put that. Spread that message out there, get that message out there, and to wear that shirt every week as captain was a real privilege, really. And again, like I say, just represented the football club in a way that I felt it was, and was great decision. And again, one sort of 10, 11 years later, now we're still coming back round, and that partnership is still there. And to meet sort of William and obviously who I'd met at the time, he's matured into such a lovely young man now from what the ordeal they went through, and for them to use that adversity to raise this awareness is incredible, really, and amazing to watch his journey too.
Yeah, it's an incredible testimony to his strength and his family's strength. And I think, as part of today, looking into it, I believe now prostate cancer is the #1 cancer in the UK, obviously for men. So it just shows you unfortunately, this is something that isn't going away. What, as you said there, and I completely agree with you, Millwall are quite typically a man's man club. And we know sort of man's man, we don't necessarily go and talk to people about things. We don't get ourselves checked. So is there a message that you have to the Millwall fans listening to this, or anyone who's listened to this, about the importance of things like that and getting checked?
Yeah, exactly that. Get yourself checked if you're unsure about anything, or just as, as a matter of routine, the checks are there. Go and get yourself checked as a matter of routine, because it might show something up that you might not even be feeling. And even if you are experiencing symptoms, even more so, I would urge you just go and see the doctor, have the test. It's it's a simple blood test now. I think there's some sort of, and it can be a scary, the image, a prostate cancer test, but it's a blood test, and it'll give you the results in quick time. But not only that, the quicker you obviously diagnose it, the quicker they can help treat it, and in a lot of cases can be curable too. So I would urge any men suffering that to do that. And then secondly, do you know what? Reach out to a friend as well. Reach out to a mate. Reach out to someone else if you feel that they might need a nudge in that direction too. Can you affect them too? And and obviously we've got the Prostate United coming up in October, and you're sort of talking about leading by example there. So I've actually signed up to that myself as well. And
what are you committing to then?
30 days of activity in October. So I've got to run, walk, or cycle every day.
Nice.
I think I'll probably mostly run that, like 5Ks. But I think if the legs start feeling it and the body says, what are you thinking at 43? Do you know what I mean? Then I might have to adapt to maybe have a bike session one of the days. But I'll make sure I'll do that, and urge all fans to sign up to themselves as really and help raise money for prostate cancer too. Like I say, try to lead by example. And that one, I was speaking to Mark yesterday, and he was saying about it, and I said, well, I can't tell everyone else to do it and not do it myself. So that's what I'll be looking to do. And if anyone else fancies joining me, that'd be brilliant. It'd be great to see your stories, great to see your challenges. But ultimately, like as you said, the bottom line is let's help each other. Cancer is such a horrible disease, and this one that particularly affects men is 1 in 8 men are affected by it. So it's crazy. Get the message out there, get tested, and let's do all we can to help raise that awareness.
Thanks, Paul. That sounds amazing. And obviously, guys, that everything we do is for cancer research, but obviously prostate cancer is a different charity, but very keen to support them in anything we can. So we're going to put the Prostate United in the link. Make sure you sign up to that, and listen to Paul. Get yourself checked if you're thinking about anything or any symptoms. And Paul, nothing left for me to say than thank you for joining me today.
No, thanks for having me.
I'm sure we'll talk again soon. And as always, thanks for listening, guys.
Cheers.
Bye for now.